Did you know that there's only 3 types of employees that you can have, and one of them is actually the worst type of employee to have, and you may not even know that you have them? In this video, I want to share with you what that employee is. What's going on, guys? My name's Tim, the Scary Good Marketer, and in this video I want to talk to you about the worst type of employees that you can have, and you may actually have some in your business right now that are really hurting your business. So like I said, there's only 3 types of employees that you have. You have employees that absolutely love working for you, love everything that they do, they love their job, and they will be loyal to you. Now, the second kind of employee are the employees that don't really like their job, don't really do their job, and you know them, and they end up getting fired right off the bat, or they're just difficult to work with, and you end up getting rid of them, replacing them, any of that stuff. Now, the third kind of employee is one of the worst kind of employees that you can have because they look like the first one, but act like the second one. Now, why are these the worst kind of employees? Well, the reality is because a lot of times they end up doing the bare minimum amount of work, or they just do enough work where they kind of go under the radar and you don't really notice them, right? They don't really stand out to you in being bad employees, and they don't really stand out to you in being good employees. And why is this a bad thing? Well, one is because you are paying that person for the minimum amount of work that they need to do. This is not their fault, okay? This is your fault. The reason these employees are doing the minimum amount of work is because you haven't given them any reason to work harder for you, right? If you think about it, more times than not, these employees, they probably have really good potential. You just have not given them the opportunity to actually use that, grow any of that in your company. And that's why your company becomes stagnant, right? There really isn't anything new and inventive going on, because a lot of times you think that everything that's new and inventive has to come from your mind. And that's just not true. That's the whole reason you have people working in certain positions, because they know what they're doing. They're supposed to be the expert in that position. So you need to, like I said, give them more recognition for the hard work that they've done. Give them a little bit more freedom as far as bringing new ideas to the table, because at the end of the day, if it's not a good idea, you don't have to implement it, right? But if you give them the opportunity to do that, you can shift those employees to being more loyal, hardworking, and you will see a dramatic difference in your business, right? It's funny because this always reminds me of the movie Office Space. It's the exact same thing, right? Whenever he goes into the interview and he says, well, I just feel like I'm not being pushed enough. I don't feel like there's enough there, so I'm just pretty much doing nothing. Just enough so that I'm just kind of here, but I don't feel like I'm going anywhere, right? And that's the thing, is you need to push those employees. You need to get them to do something. And now going in and being like, hey, you need to work harder, you need to do all this stuff. That's why those employees happen, is because they don't feel valued by you, the owner of the business. They don't feel valued in any way. And like I said, see what their goals are, right? Is it that they want to make more money? Great. Figure out what are the benchmarks that they need to do to be able to get that raise, make more money. What are those things, right? Maybe it's not monetary. Maybe, they just want to be able to have longevity, maybe better benefits, maybe any of those things. And that's what you want to do. You want to figure out what are the things that are going to drive them to continue to strive and get better. And how can you facilitate those things so that you don't have these employees that are kind of stagnant, that you don't really, like I said, you don't really know. Are they good employees? Are they bad employees? They're just your employees, right? And if you're not pushing them in the right direction to become, your all-star employees, then your business becomes stagnant just like they are, right? Because your business is a direct reflection of the way you treat your employees. Okay, so I hope that this video was insightful. I hope that it kind of gets some gears going, and really makes you realize that, you know, you really need to take more initiative with your employees. You really need to look at them, see what they're doing, and you know, give them compliments. Tell them they're doing a good job, and figure out what else you can do to make them your all-star employees. So I look forward to seeing you in our next